Hi everyone, it's Kate from The Fold Line. I am back this week with a little bite-size trends roundup for party season. I was in the shops this week and I was looking at everything that had come. I actually went and did I got kind of excited and did a full kind of loop of everywhere. And I was looking at all the stuff that had come in for party season. And I just thought actually it might be fun to do a little like bite-size roundup for you guys. And it meant that I was technically doing homework, which was basically shopping. But I kind of have come up with some ideas for you. So I've kind of grouped it. So I've done fabrics and then I've got a few items of clothing, and I kept in mind that we don't have loads of time. So quite a lot of the dresses are on the kind of more simple side, apart from one look, which is more complicated, but you'll see when we get into it. Right, fabrics. I'm sorry also, the sun is kind of either blaring or not, and it keeps coming in and out, so apologies if I'm suddenly like squinting a little bit. Right, fabrics, metallics, featured very heavily in all types of clothing, everything from, you can see the M&S, the spotty shirt, the silver jeans, to shirts, to dresses. I mean, they've particularly silver really was featured very, very heavily. But I put a kind of mixture of all the different hues that I saw, but yeah, this was a very much strong look. The other thing I saw quite a lot of, which I thought was quite fun, is a lot of like just very simple t-shirts cut in a metallic jersey that just added a little bit of sparkle, like a very simple, easy, speedy make. But yes, metallics were very heavy in the party looks. Next up was velvet, and I know this pretty much comes out every Christmas, but again, showing very strong on the high street. A lot of this was featured in tailoring, but also items like that, the Whistles blouse, which I thought was quite interesting, quite a simple shirt shape, just made in the velvet, and would look really nice with lots of things. So that's another kind of avenue to kind of look down if you're thinking about making stuff. Next up was spots. This really was a kind of print that wasn't there at all when I was doing all the trend stuff earlier on in the season. And so this one has just come in for like party wear. And I obviously actually realised I am wearing spots at the moment, but I particularly love this M&S shirt that's got a silver spot on it. But yeah, that very much featured quite heavily on it across lots of different things. So yeah, spots are very much in at the moment. And then the final thing, I spoke about this again during the trends post, was a mixing different textures. So you can see the Red and Other Stories dress, it's a cardigan over a kind of silk slip dress, which was very similar to what I spoke about before, but they've kind of taken it one step further this Christmas, and then they've mixed different textures. So the Whistles and the M&M dress, for example, the Whistles is velvet on the top and then a kind of sandwash silk on the bottom. And the M&M one was something that I saw a lot of. This is actually a jersey top with jersey velvet on the bottom, and there were quite a lot of this sort of style of dress out there. So that sort of play on texture is something I think that we could also do quite easily. You know, if you've got a, you know, like cozy cardigan, you want to make a little something simple, something in a kind of satin, that would work really well. But if you're planning to make a whole dress, you could get quite creative with even a pattern that you've got already and make the top half in a velvet and the bottom half in a different fabric, and then you kind of get that kind of mix of textures. First up, this great shape dress. I mean, I feel like most people either probably have a dress like this in their wardrobe, or if not, good. It's like the dress that you reach for, kind of V-neck, empire line. Some of them had a kind of curved seam underneath the bust that felt kind of quite vintagey. A lot of these, again, the Whistles of a variant you can see is spotty and it's metallic as well, so it kind of ticks all of those boxes. So I've got two different patterns for you. The first one, if you like something that's a little less fitted, the Atelier Dupe Alana dress, I thought would work really well. It's quite simple construction. You can see that it's got a V at the front. It's got an elasticated panel underneath the bust, and then it kind of just, it's quite fairly straight cut dress, quite simple, nice shaped sleeve. It's a really good staple sort of dress. So if you're looking for something like that, it's worth having a look at. I didn't say anything important like sizing. So it's PDF for this one, and sizing is a UK 8 to 26. So the other pattern that I thought would work really nicely is the So Love pattern spring dress. The thing that I really liked about it is if I show you the line drawing, you can see that shape underneath the bust. That felt really similar to lots of the dresses, and a little bit of gathering, and it's a very pretty dress. The thing I liked about this dress particularly is you can make it so that the skirt is cut so it's kind of quite fitted, or you can have it so it's kind of gathered, and if you want a kind of fuller skirt, so it feels like it's quite a nice option. Then we've got I called it Empire cut dress because it was kind of boat necked around the neckline, or high necked. You can see the M&S version. It crucially had a curved seam underneath the bust, so it kind of went from here down, quite fitted, a little bit of gathering there kind of at the bust, but this sort of shape there were quite a lot of, and tend to have quite a kind of big sleeve as well. So I thought I did really well with this. The paper cut patterns Luli dress, I love this pattern, it's so beautiful. It felt like it ticked all of the boxes. It's got that shape underneath the bust. It's got really sweet sleeves. It's super cute. You can actually cut it off and make it short as well if you want to. But the shape of it just felt so similar to the stuff that I'd seen that I had to pop that in. So I didn't do any of the important stuff to dye. So it's paper only, and sizing on this is a UK 4 to 36. So after that, we then move into the suit territory, which is something that I know that comes out every year at Christmas, and I am here for it. I love a bit of tailoring. You can see that they tended to be in quite kind of neutral fabrics. The Bowden one is a velvet, and they had a few kind of brighter options in velvet. But trouser-wise, there were options with the Me&M one, which is slightly wider leg, and also the Bowden, which is slightly narrower as well. So you can kind of pick which sort of shape you would prefer. So I put two different options for the jacket, and I did this because I've got one which is a much easier construction than the other. So the first one on the jacket front was the Friday Pattern Company Heather Blazer. This is like much more simple in terms of the construction. There's less of the kind of proper tailoring techniques, and it's cut as a less formal jacket. You can see there's less structure in it. It's got patch pockets on the front. It finishes slightly longer than the other jacket I've got as well, but I thought that one would be a really good option. If you were looking for something that was more classic tailored, then I would recommend the Closet Claw Jessica Blazer. This is an absolute stonker of a pattern, and you can see now that the length of it is cut slightly shorter than the Friday Pattern Company one. It's got shoulder pads. It's, you know, they've got more of the traditional tailoring technique, so it's more of an involved make. So if you wanted to make something and you are a little less experience, and the Friday Pattern Company one is definitely worth having a look at. But this is such a beautiful pattern. I know loads of people have made it, and it's such a kind of classic shape that it will never go out of fashion, so it's a great option. Then I've got two different tight trouser shapes because I was aware that there were kind of a wider leg and a more narrow leg. So the Fibre Mood Billy trousers. These are a kind of classic pair of tailored trousers, but they're slightly tapered and they cut off at the ankle. And I was thinking that this length would work really well if you were thinking of wearing heels with it. Yeah, and it's actually styled with a blazer that they've done, but I didn't. That one is also available as well. But yeah, I thought this trouser would work really nicely if you wanted something a little bit more fitted. If you wanted something wide leg, hilariously, they both got the same name, the Bella Loves Pattern Billy trousers. These I've spoken about in the past. Beautiful pair of tailored trousers, pleats at the front, high-waisted. They're just amazing. So I thought either of those, if I show you it all together, you can kind of pick and match between which things that you like. Then there were a lot of shift patterns, which I was quite surprised at, again, because this shape of dress wasn't around, and it hasn't actually been around for a while, so it's quite nice to have this back. Quite, as you can see from the pictures, quite short, long sleeve and short sleeve. And again, this is quite a nice simple pattern to sew. So if you haven't made a dress and you were hoping to make something and you like a shift shape, this is definitely worth having a look at. So I've got two different patterns for this. The first one is the Tilly and the Button Stevie tunic. This is a great pattern for beginners. The shape of this felt really nice. You could whip this up if you're a more experienced maker very, very quickly. Short sleeves on this one. But yeah, that one felt really nice. If you were looking for something that had a longer sleeve and was a little less short, the Tessuti Fabrics Bella dress is beautiful if you haven't seen it. I really love this shape pattern. So it's a slightly flared shift dress. It's got long sleeves. You can obviously make them short if you want, but I like the shape of this, and I feel like this might, if you're going somewhere to eat a big meal, this is the option to go for, because it's a bit more forgiving. So yeah, those two options for the shift dress I thought would work really nicely. And then last but not least, I put cozy party wear because I saw a lot of this again tied back into kind of the trends based piece I did, where you have a jumper and a dress in a similar fabric, and there are a lot of these in kind of matching fabrics. I thought you could do this in, if you could find a really interesting metallic jersey, you could do it all in metallic. It could look really lovely actually. So I've got two different options for you. So there's a style art pattern, and there's that kind of ticks both boxes, but they're two different patterns, but they've got them styled and photographed together. So there's the yo-yo knit top and the yo-yo skirt from Style Arc. And I've spoken about this top before because I really like the proportions of it. You can have it so that the top is kind of cut a bit longer, or you can have it cropped, and then the skirt is a pencil skirt. They're jersey patterns obviously, so that would work really nicely, and I thought that ticked the kind of cozy box. The other option I thought would work really nicely, again, you could wear it if you made the Style Art cropped version of the yo-yo. This Tessuti skirt is really nice. The Malia, it's a bit like the shift actually. It's like a more flared pencil skirt. Also, actually, it's more like an A-line skirt. But again, this is a jersey pattern. So it would be, again, a nice simple, this would be, actually both of these would be a really lovely simple sew. But I thought those would work really nicely for a bit of cozy party wear if you want to go to something and not, just feel a bit more comfortable. So I hope that was useful and you found something nice in there. I will be back soon with another video. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your weekend. Bye.